We've got the good ending back, people. Or so you think. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I think it is mostly good. I think this is actually pretty good. So just for a quick rundown for anyone who's been out of the loop, basically there's been a little bit of drama lately in the Brawl Stars community, especially with this RIP Masteries thing happening. I mean, the actual event we got from it was fine. That was actually really good, but there's actually a little minor thing too that came after that. But here's the basic timeline. So I think at this point, almost a month ago, Brawl Stars announced that they would be... Holy shit, it's been a month? Wait, what? No way. Anyways, about a month ago, they announced that Masteries are being deleted from the game. The old kind of Brawler expertise indicator was being reworked and changed into something else called records, and in doing so they had to move all of these mastery rewards out of mastery since it was being reworked, and they decided to move 80,000 coins, 2,500 power points, 6,000 credits to records as star drops, and then they moved the rest of the resources to the trophy road. And then overall, if you kind of do the math on that, Supercell said per their numbers that we got a slight coin buff, a pretty big power points nerf, and a small credit buff. And the power points nerf is pretty concerning. I mean, I was concerned with this early on, but I mean, I get it. A lot of endgame players have an excess of power points, and they're moving the power points according to them to earlier on in the trophy road, so then your players have more access to them when they actually need them. Sure, okay, maybe we can accept that justification. And we still get a minor coin buff and a credit buff overall with the rework. Plus on top of that, they're also doing the big mastery, 1000 mastery event where you can get 1,000 times mastery and collect all of these rewards before they get moved to the trophy road and records. And so in theory, you could get these rewards and get these rewards. You can get both. Now, does that actually work out that way? Well, not really, because you can't recollect trophy road rewards that you've already hit the milestone for. So some of these rewards don't actually, you can't double dip, but the point is you can still get these, since that's what's being lost or at least moved around. Then either way, as long as you play the event, you'll be fine. But even if you don't play the event, I mean, you can still technically get a coin buff and a credit buff in general. So that's kind of the nice thing. But there were a few little hiccups, we could say, that came from this. I kind of pointed out in my first initial reaction videos, this is bad for a few reasons, right? Not just the power points nerf, but also they're moving a lot of these resources as star drops. Now a lot of credits are probably going to just get wasted on fame or just a brawler that you don't care about, right? Before, when new brawlers release, you could at least switch to them to unlock the new brawler instead of on whatever random brawler that you don't care about that you're stuck on unlocking. But now you are just kind of forced to open star drops and get a random reward instead of being able to store up an actual amount of credits. Not only that, but masteries are also tied to brawlers themselves, right? Each individual brawler gives a certain amount of mastery rewards. So I mean, for legendary brawlers, it's 3,000 coins and 450 power points. For epic brawlers and below, it's a little bit less than that, 2,000 coins and some number of power points. But the point is, each new brawler that they release gives an additional amount of mastery rewards. So over the course of a year, 12 brawlers worth of mastery rewards might end up being a pretty substantial amount of coins. That's 12 times, let's say 2,500. That's at least 25,000 coins or higher, depending on how many legendaries and mythics that they release. And it's a few thousand power points too that we are now missing out on because new brawlers don't have mastery rewards anymore. Instead, they have records, which only give 2 base star drops each, which does not make up that difference. So overall, pretty substantial nerf it's looking like. But not only that, when the event was going on, they announced in a tweet here, I think before the event ended, a couple days before the event ended, or maybe a day, that they were going to end the event some hours early because 1,000 mastery boost is more rewarding than we had anticipated. It's too much. The players are getting too many coins. Stop them immediately. The economy can't handle it. How will we milk players for all of the money that they're worth if they have all the resources they need and don't want to spend anymore? This is kind of a weird statement, honestly. People kind of saw this what the fuck is wrong with you? And then they eventually said, they walked back on it, fuck it, okay, we'll just end it as the time we anticipated. Although, honestly, it still felt too short, in my opinion. I wanted to grind it more on my second account and main accounts, but they at least made it last until the time they said they would. And people still got a lot of resources from this too, by the way. So, it was still a really good event overall. People got a lot of stuff from it. The second thing, though, that kind of came out was... there was a Reddit post that came out from a while ago here, Supercell Can Be Transparent with the Changes, where someone double checked the math that Supercell did in their blog post here on this table, and they, like, after records came out, they saw that we were actually missing a pretty massive chunk of the resources that we were promised, I guess you could say, from the blog post. This row is wrong. We don't actually get that many star drops from records. In fact, we only have 180 regular star drops, and this is actually a typo, it should be 10 total legendary star drops from records. And if you actually do the math from the average star drop values that they gave in the blog post, that only amounts to less than 27,000 coins and less than 5,000 credits and only 2,500 power points. So this is like pretty bad. If you were to take that on its face, that means that this isn't actually a coin buff, it's a pretty substantial coin nerf. The difference here looks to be at least over 50,000 coins. So there's like around 43-ish thousand coins that aren't accounted for in the resources remaining column. We had lost 43,000 coins from the mastery rewards, and it's not a coin buff. Same with credits too, right? We're down like, what, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 credits here. That means that we're not getting a credit buff either. We're actually losing like 6,000 credits. And power points is the only thing that's the same. That's the only thing that was accurately described as a nerf. So that's pretty bad. And then not only that, but YouTuber Shou Ming, my Asian contemporary here, shoutouts Bing Chiling, he even made this video talking about if Supercell actually did take that many coins from you. And he did a bunch of math, just fact-checking the post. And overall, the post was pretty much on the money. I don't know how I can show this without having this big red bar at the bottom, sorry, but the point is that this is what the table is actually supposed to look like. Supercell actually forgot to include the fact that this new trophy road actually has less credits than the old trophy road. So you add up 2,700 credits with 8,100 credits, and you only get 11,000 credits, but the old trophy road had 16,000 credits. So you're actually missing, in this raw resources moving to the new trophy road row, you're missing the minus 5,000 credits that is being taken from the old trophy road. And so Shou Ming did add this in too, and fact checked the Reddit post, and most of it was pretty much accurate. His numbers were 25,000 coins, 2,500 power points, 5,500 credits. And if you do all that, then not only are we missing almost 21,000 power points, we're missing almost 46,000 coins and 11,000 credits that just aren't accounted for. These are all nerfs. That's a pretty big discrepancy from the overall coin buff and the small credit buff that they claim. And so there was some big Reddit reactions. Online communities were freaking out. People were like, oh my god, we have to do something or we might be cooked. It's the latest progression. Nerf made it so free players are no longer able to get the new Brawler release. It's over. With the removal of masters, the only source of progression is the battle pass and the breadcrumbs that the trophy road provides. Okay, hold on. I understand the sentiment with posts like these. It's just frustrating that, yes, it is a massive progression nerf. That's bad. But I find it really frustrating that people like to throw in lies too in the mix. Like, the facts on its face are bad. Supercell took away 45,000 coins, 20,000 power points, and 10,000 credits from progression. That's bad. But why are we adding in a lie that the only source of progression is the battle pass and the trophy road? That is not true. Guys, I've done multiple videos on the main channel, I guess 2 videos on the main channel about this, not including Masteries or Trophy Road. You get more than enough coins and power points and credits to unlock all the new Brawlers that are released in here. You can max out like at least 14, 15 Brawlers every year. You can unlock more than that per year. I mean, star drops are a significant portion of the game's progression. I know we all like to think of them as like airdrops, like you're opening a bag of Lays or whatever. They're full of nothing. You get, oh, 50 coins, that's nothing, blah, blah, blah. But like, those values add up. And if you actually do the math and look at the expected values, which end up being pretty accurate when you look over the course of a year, since just because of the way statistics works, right? Larger sample size, the stuff you get from it goes more towards the average. They amount to a lot. You can collect like almost over 1,500 star drops over the course of a year from various sources like Megapig, daily login. The new Pro Pass was a really big one, by the way. Those added a lot of legendary drops. There's also shop jackpots, the special events like the recent Mastery Madness event that gave us like the tens of thousands of coins and tons of power points. And then there's also like the daily login streak too, which I don't even know how to count for that because I think everyone has like a different one, but those give rewards too, albeit small. I don't want to have to defend Supercell when they make a mistake. I don't want to be that guy. It's not fun for me. It's lame. It's stupid. I feel like a loser. But as lame as it is to defend a company, I think it's more lame to use misinformation to try to shit on a company when there's already enough without using misinfo to shit on the company for. Like, they did a bad. They removed progression. I don't support that. And I think when you rely on misinformation to further your argument, it just makes your argument weaker to anyone who knows the truth. Regardless, Supercell did make a mistake. I mean, it's right. Like, this not including the minus credits from the new Trophy Road, not actually giving us all the star drops from the records thing. So pretty bad. And I think the reason why this big discrepancy isn't even there, I think was theorized that there's around 39 to 40 legendary star drops that aren't in records that maybe should have been there. Because legendary star drops don't give power points. You'll notice that the power points column is the only one that actually matches around what they said that would be added to records as star drops. So people are theorizing basically that records right now is pretty shit. Let's be honest. It's fucking boring. You have to like play Brawl Stars one-handed while doing a handstand upside down on top of the Eiffel Tower with another hand on your fucking meat and jerking yourself off. It's like stupid quests that like are kind of impossible to achieve realistically, that also don't give that many rewards. It's still kind of like a boring ass grind where you have to win like 300 times to get the title. Like, it's just a worse version of masteries. And the guess is that, I mean, they probably were going to add in like 40 extra quests that were like that were just as fucking boring and shit. And those would have given like those legendary star drops that maybe aren't accounted for here, and that's why there's such a big difference. I mean, it's either that or Supercell intentionally lied and gave all this fake math just to make themselves seem better when they really wanted to nerf progression. Especially when they're saying stuff like this, that like, oh, 1000% mastery boost is too rewarding, like we gotta stop this. You know, it seems like they don't want players to have fun. They hate their players, classic greedy cell, and this makes Supercell as a team worse than a certain fascist leader of a National Socialist Party of Germany back in 1950s. They're just the worst people ever, clearly. So I guess it's all time to have a max exodus of the game. Just quit the game, because they've gone too far. Except no, hold on. Today, as of 8 hours ago, when I'm recording this video, they've decided to post an update on their Twitter. Just kind of an open, transparent feedback thing. And in this post, they actually address basically all of the complaints or criticisms that have been levied at them so far. This is a pretty thorough post. I read through it, obviously, this morning when I just woke up at 2 p.m. I read it. And TLDR is they're actually doing a bunch of changes. So no more paid early access brawlers anymore. Trunk will be the last one. And after that, starting in the following update, you're not going to be able to spend $20 on the new Brawler to unlock it a week early. No more Elden Ring priced Kaze. That's all gone, which is actually kind of a fascinating choice. I'll talk more about that later. And they also, are going to add more records every update. So I guess those potentially 40 legendary star drops that are missing from records right now might be added sometime down the line. We'll see. Again, they're not actually giving us an actual number. So it's hard to really say what this is going to look like. They could add maybe like 20 star drops sometime like over the course of the next few years, or they could add like 60. Who knows? We have no idea. But this is the big one. Battle Pass free-to-play rewards will be buffed, matching Legendary Brawler Mastery's next update. Now, what does that mean? Basically, the Mastery rewards that would have come from a Legendary Brawler, 3,000 coins, 450 power points, a few hundred credits, that's being added to the free-to-play Brawl Pass every month. So all of the old like potential mastery rewards that would have been added as new brawlers released are now just being moved to the free-to-play Brawl Pass, which is actually huge. Plus, they're also reworking the new Brawler early access design to allow free-to-play more rewards. I don't really know what that means yet. And they're also doing more special events, which also include more free-to-play rewards starting this Thursday, which as I'm recording is in 2 days. So wow, lots of big changes. Big things are coming. Potentially more than making up for the 45,000 coin nerf and the credit nerf, but the PowerPoints nerf is like a separate story that I think we need to kind of mull over. But okay, first, let's just read through the post. So we did hit the mark with the latest update, made some operational mistakes recently. I don't know if the operational mistakes are referring to the incorrect math on this section or on the records, or like I assume it has to do with the fact that they somehow didn't ship all of the records quests and the star drops that they were meant to ship in the actual final product. And then they talked about how they'll be adjusting their plans and improving the state of the game and talk about new exciting stuff they're working on. So first, Ultra Legendary was born as we wanted to improve monetization around brawlers. We had an interesting and deep brawler design, more so than the legendary tier. We thought the new rarity, depth of brawler design justified a higher price. We were wrong about that. It's interesting that they say we were wrong about that, because I mean, I kind of understand where they're coming from. Like, Ultra Legendary did take more resources, potentially double the amount of actual development time compared to a normal brawler, just because it is 2 brawlers in one, albeit both are regular epic brawlers, but it's like, you know, it's still 2 brawlers in one, and you have to kind of find a way to balance that to not make it game-breakingly broken, and also make the entire kit like kind of work together in a way. Now, who knows if they actually succeeded in doing that, but either way, the point is, it is a more complex brawler, and in theory, the increased depth of brawler design should justify a higher price. I mean, that makes sense, I think. More development time, more money, right? But when they say that they were wrong about that, I presume that means that they didn't actually get people to buy this offer. Even though it was like more complex or whatever, people weren't willing to spend more money for more complexity, I think, is what they have learned. I mean, like, let's be honest, no one's spending $50. Even $20 on a new early access brawler was kind of a stretch. And here's my putting on my, I don't have tinfoil, but I have a tissue, and that kind of is spelled in a similar way and pronounced similarly. So I'll just put my tissue hat on. Where did it go? It's interesting in terms of timing of this post. They released it after Ali's early access is coming to a close. And Ali, guys, is basically an ultra legendary brawler. I mean, people are saying she should be legendary at the very least. What is this new brawler when you actually look at its mechanics, right? Similar to an ultra legendary brawler, we have 2 different attacks. We have a new trait that like causes it enraged, which I can't show you in Training Cave, but like she has a new trait that like is kind of broken. She has an invisibility super, but the super also buffs up her damage to like double it sometimes. This brawler is pretty complex, but also only a mythic. And it's not just Ali, but all of the past new brawlers like Chaeyoung, he also has a bunch of different types of attacks, 2 different supers this time actually. A gadget that gives him a 3rd type of attack. I mean, Umi, 2 different types of attacks. You know, a whole super plus star power plus gadget combo that kind of makes her kit feel way overloaded. Kenji, you know, 2 different type of attacks, like super complex brawler. Same with Juju, also a bunch of different attacks. All the new brawlers lately have been fairly complex despite not being ultra legendary. And arguably, they're also more fun. Kaze is okay, but she's like really hard to play. And I think there's like a balance where you kind of go over into too much complexity almost, where the extra complexity feels either unnecessary or not worth it to try to learn and understand for the actual value that you get. They have to do that to keep the game balanced, but it also just makes the brawler like Kaze less fun to play. My tissue hat theory is that Ultra Legendary's early access, or Kaze's early access to be more specific, was kind of a failure in terms of, I guess, goals that they had wanted to achieve with it. My guess is that they just didn't sell as many Kaze early accesses as they had wanted to, partially because players realized that the price tag is way too fucking high, but also because, the brawler herself, she's just really hard to play and hard to understand, and it's not appealing. I mean, if you spend $50, you want to have $50 worth of fun, but you don't want to have a fucking homework chore, practically a new instrument to play. You just want to turn your brain off and win. I mean, that's what are you spending $50 for? A way to be reminded that you actually suck at the game. Like, that sucks. And not only that, but like following that up with Ali's early access too. I mean, she is also an assassin who has a lot of mobility like Kaze does, has 2 different attacks, pretty complex brawler, a whole new trait. She actually has 2 traits. She has the water walking trait too for a reason, but she can do a bunch of cool stuff too. And her early access, I wonder if it also didn't really quite reach their goals in terms of sales on it. Even though she's much easier to play than Kaze and does the same thing as Kaze, but is also just straight up better than Kaze, I think people just overall were kind of turned off maybe potentially from early access purchases for new brawlers. And this is all kind of speculation, okay? I don't know the numbers. Maybe Ali sold really well and they're still thinking about removing it anyways. Or maybe it's a mixture of like, they were always thinking about maybe reworking it, but then Ali and Kaze just kind of flopped, and so now they're really doing it, locking it in for real. I don't really know. But for Ultra Legendary, right, when they release a $50 Ultra Legendary Kaze bundle pack, that is something that makes people kind of question, like second guess, like, wait, hold on, I don't want to spend $50 just to play the new brawler. And if you do spend $50, then you're realizing as you play the brawler, like, wait, hold on, this brawler fucking sucks. Or if she's good, she's too hard for me to even play properly, which means she still sucks because I spent $50, I should be able to have my fun. This sucks either way. And it also doesn't even give resources either. Like, what did I just spend $50 on? Basically nothing. That kind of gets people thinking, well, when Ali's early access drops, like her early access cost what, $20? And yeah, this time you actually do get coins too, by the way. You get 5,000 coins now, which even Kaze didn't give for whatever reason. I wonder if just the question that like, why am I spending $20 on this, on like the newest brawler, when it's gonna come into Star Road anyways in like a week? I mean, Ali is the 93rd brawler added to the game. There's a lot of brawlers in Brawl Stars now, and you have to kind of wonder, like, if I already have Kaze, or if I already have Mortis, or if I already have Miko, if I already have Leon, like, yeah, she's probably broken. I mean, she is broken, and yeah, I can get 5,000 coins if I spend 20 bucks, but I would just rather not. Is it really worth $20? Like, Kaze definitely wasn't worth 50. Is Ali even worth 20? Even with the 5,000 coins? It's that kind of question that's kind of added in. Anyways, that was kind of a long, elaborate way of me saying that I think early access brawlers in general are just kind of getting a little bit stale. I don't think people are going to be as willing to spend money on it, especially given how Kaze's early access went. I just think it just in general, people are kind of turned off from the experience. Just the theory though. I don't know. Maybe Ali sold really well and I'm totally wrong. And maybe even Kaze sold really well and I'm totally wrong. But I don't know. That's just kind of my vibe. That's kind of how I feel. Or it's even possible that early access brawlers never even really sold that well to begin with. And that kind of is what's getting them to decide to just remove this in-app purchase paywall for early access entirely. Here they list their goals with the update: improve the new player tutorial, together with a better trophy road with better rewards and visuals. I actually do think they did succeed on this. I tried testing it a little bit on like a fresh account just because I was curious what the new tutorial was like, and they did actually make it much better. It's actually kind of cool. The new like worlds that you have, and you want to like gain trophies to unlock the access to the new worlds and like uncover them, and you know, you actually get Bull from Bull's Diner. Kind of, it's cool. It is kind of cool. I like it. And you have a new animation too that plays when you first start up the game. Like, it's nice. It's just anyone watching this video won't care because we are far beyond the point where we would ever even see that. It's cool for people who aren't playing the game right now, is kind of where it's at, right? And next goal was to add an achievement system, records, where veterans could flex their skills. They wanted to bring back Angels Demons event with a new twist, add more excitement for all players. They wanted to remove masteries to redistribute the wealth into places that are more accessible with less playtime. These are all good goals. I think this makes sense. If you actually take a look at the total mastery rewards that the old mastery system had before, it was true that a lot of players, it turns out, didn't have that many of these collected, even though if they were playing for a long time. Like, this is something we all kind of learned together when the 1000 Masteries event started. A lot of people were checking in, wait, how many mastery rewards do I even have to claim that are resources? And the answer was quite a lot. I know for me personally, on my free-to-play account, I grinded very little, and I still got at least 30 to 40,000 coins, just coins. I didn't even check PowerPoints, but I got that many coins on my free-to-play account, which was pretty substantial. And I could have gotten at least double that if I actually played more, but I just didn't have that much time. I know a lot of my friends got like tens of thousands of coins too, and they are super casual. I mean, a lot of people had like hundreds of thousands of coins that they could have collected if they grinded in this event. Just going to show that even if you played for a long time, you might not actually even have most of these rewards available to you. And so it's kind of like, you know, Schrodinger's reward. Like, if the rewards are there, but no one has collected them, well, do they even exist at all? So Brawl Stars decided, well, functionally, no, they don't. So let's just move them to places where that are more accessible for more people. Same thing with the records too. Like, in theory, it's cool to have like a quest system where you can have like a cool niche quest that you complete for like recognition. Like, that's nice. But it's just like the implementation of it was all so mid. Like, records fucking suck. It's boring. It's just a lame ass grind. And when they removed masteries, they didn't even move all of the rewards over. They missed out on like at least tens of thousands of coins and a bunch of power points and also a bunch of credits. And when you like fuck that up, it just pisses people off. It's just upsetting. And it seems the reason for, you know, these mistakes and like not fully getting everything out in time is just they say they bit off more than they could chew. Records went through too many design pivots, and in the end they had to ship the simplest version that they could deliver. Pushed ourselves to get it done on time, cut many records, didn't leave any room for iteration. As a team, we'll try to plan things better and execute stuff better in the future. So, okay, that's fine. And then here they explain why Masteries was removed too. Just basically saying what I said, it's not optimal from a design perspective. It gave a lot of great rewards, but most new and even engaged players never really understood how it worked, especially the trophies to mastery point scaling. I guess, yeah, I could see how that isn't, because it's not explained anywhere. I could see how that might be like not understanding. Like, if you are new to the game and you have a new brawler and you play and you win a game and you gain 5 mastery points for a win because it has no trophies, and you need to get like 1,000 points or whatever to get like the first reward. That might be like kind of discouraging. And yeah, a lot of players didn't engage with it, which sure, I guess maybe we could say that. It also incentivized grinding, which isn't the most fun engagement motivation. The same problems exist for records too, which they say, but they are planning on improving that. And then here they say the stuff that they missed before removing masteries too. So the potential mastery rewards that come with new brawlers getting removed, talked about that before. They're adding those rewards into the battle pass. So every month now, the free pass that you get, they're gonna get a buff of 3,000 coins, 450 power points, and 300 credits. And that is kind of massive. Before, in the old system, with the way the mastery rewards worked on new brawlers, right, to actually get those rewards, you need to unlock the new brawler, so spend however many credits it takes to get that, and then you need to play that brawler a bunch, probably potentially to like 1,000 trophies at least, to get their silver 2 mastery, and that's going to take a while. You probably have to upgrade the brawler too to even push the brawler very high, or at least have a fun time while doing it and doing it in a reasonable time. So you'd have to spend a bunch of resources to get resources in a sense. You would upgrade your brawler to do all that, and that's account progression, but it's also just, it's still gated by time, effort, and resources to actually get those rewards. But now, if you're just moving into the Brawl Pass, that is way nicer. I think most people do complete the Brawl Pass. I think maybe. I'm not sure if most people, but I think it's much easier to complete the Brawl Pass, we'll say. And you can do it on any brawler that you already have upgraded. It's just less work and less gates to get the resources. This is a really nice change. And it's a big change too. 36,000 coins per year, guys. Brawl Stars before didn't add a new legendary brawler every month. They added mostly mythics, a few epics, and a couple legendaries. But if they're matching the rewards to a legendary brawler every month, I mean, then that's like getting legendary rewards without actually needing to spend for a legendary brawler, if you know what I mean. So even if they don't add any more star drops to records, like any legendary star drops, just in the first year, it'll still be a net nerf, the rework that they did. Like you can imagine, if you add in 36,000 coins, and this ends up dropping to like what, maybe 9,000 coins in a year that aren't accounted for. But then in the next year, then it'll be a 30,000 coin buff. Like over time, this rework is just gonna get better and better. Like the nerd in high school who had a massive glow up. I mean, this is huge. Not to mention also the power points too. If you multiply this by 12, you get like 5.4 thousand power points. So the Brawl Pass, the free pass, is getting buffed by 5.4 thousand. That's good. It doesn't make up for the 20,000 PowerPoint nerf that we got. And even if they add legendary drops, like a bunch of legendary drops to records, it's still not going to make up for the PowerPoints difference, because legendary drops don't drop PowerPoints actually. Average legendary star drop value is 0 PowerPoints. So this is like still a little bit concerning for me, but they do say that they're going to be adding more special events, so maybe those will give a bunch of PowerPoints too. We'll see. You know, hold our breath on that. But either way, getting a buff at all is still really good. We also get, 3,600 credits. It doesn't quite make up for the overall credit nerf from the Trophy Road and the lack of credits from the Star Drop. But like again, if they add in legendary Star Drops to records, then that is going to help this column out as well quite a bit. It's just the main thing is the PowerPoints for me that is still like a little bit sus, but we're getting a lot more coins and credits at the very least. And then they also do here talk in the article about credit banking and storing. That's something that we don't want to incentivize. As not collecting rewards is an unintuitive way to play for most players. The core issue is you want to unlock the new brawler on the first day after early access and not let credits go to fame. We don't have a new brawler released in July, but Trunk will be the last in-app purchase early access brawler in August, and we'll be changing the way we do early access entirely in the next update. Design is still work in progress, but we're certainly removing in-app purchase paywall offer. Trunk will be the last, allowing everyone to play the brawler during early access and have a chance to get the brawler earlier for free just by playing. In addition, this Brawler release event will give even more rewards on top of the Battle Pass buff. So what they're saying is basically storing credits and not collecting rewards is kind of lame. I guess from just like a game design perspective and a player experience perspective, like if you're just saving all of your resources and never spending them, then you are technically making your experience worse just to try to hope that maybe it'll be better in the long term. But it's just like, it's weird. And I get it that they don't want to incentivize that. Like maybe I can see that. It does kind of come across as them just not wanting to let players, be able to choose what brawler they unlock. But then they do say, this is the core issue, right? Is just that players want to be able to unlock the new brawler in the first day after early access and not let credits go to fame. So players want to be able to choose where they put their credits into. To address this, they're deciding to rework the way they do new brawler releases. So now, instead of doing an in-app purchase to get an early access for like 1 week, they're saying that they're going to try to let everyone play the brawler during early access. and have a chance to get the Brawler earlier for free just by playing, on top of giving rewards on top of the Battle Pass buff. So that's, if true, pretty wild, right? Like the Battle Pass buff is keeping out already a monthly buff to progression of quite a lot, honestly, of coins and power points and credits. But if they're gonna add rewards on top of that, because a new Brawler is releasing every month too, that could add up to quite a lot of resources over time. It's not just a buff to Trophy Road, which is a one-time claim thing. Like Trophy Road, yeah, they might continually add more and more resources to it as players get more trophies over time, but like it's kind of static. It's not a changing amount of resources as of right now. Like, yeah, they have to keep adding stuff to it intentionally if they want to buff it. And it's the same thing with records too, right? I mean, like, you know, besides the 2 star drops you get per new Brawler, like it's mostly a static thing. Most of the bulk of the resources comes from legendary drops, and these, unless they add more to it, is gonna be kind of an unchanging thing. But the Brawl Pass and new Brawler early access rewards represent regular, reliable sources of resources that players can collect just by playing regularly. And that, I think, is really nice. It's going to make it less daunting to get rewards, and also make it feel like you get more rewards in general. Because like like already as it is right now, I mean, like, just I think this Reddit post, even though it is misinformation, it's pretty emblematic of what a lot of people, I think, mistakenly believe, that the only source of progression is the Battle Pass and the Trophy Road. That's the only source of progression to a lot of people, because they don't count star drops and special events. And that's, you know, in big part because star drops kind of suck. It's hard to see how much resources you're actually getting from star drops, because there's no like actual counter that says. And that's intentional because, you know, that's a part of the gambling structure, but it kind of makes it weak in terms of vibes of like feeling like you're getting something for it. And so by adding to the regular resource incomes that players have in like a way that's really easy and obvious to see, like the exact amount you're getting, I think that might actually help a lot more than you might realize, and for just the vibes of the game. Plus, they're also going to improve records too. There's a lot of record rewards missing from the current cut-down release version. And then they also do adjust, you know, records rewards are less than masteries, but it's like, you know, they're not really supposed to be compared. Record rewards are not supposed to replace mastery rewards alone. The replacement was the Trophy Road buff that you got, the masteries event, and the release record rewards and future records still to come. So this last part is like a little bit sus, because obviously they haven't done it yet, but I understand from their perspective if they are genuinely going to add these in, like the 40 star drops or whatever, the legendary ones that aren't in records right now. If they are generally going to add that in, then yeah, I could see like, okay, sure, you know what, it might just have been an honest mistake on their part. And they also do say that new players will earn more rewards, or rewards faster compared to before. I think that's mostly going to be true though from this new Battle Pass buff, I'm going to be honest, and the new Brawler release event, if that gives resources, and also the special events. I think that's going to be more true than the actual Trophy Road. Because like the thing is, guys, I'm not sure, I feel like I have to think about this more, but from what I've heard, new players don't actually have that many trophies. A lot of people have less than 20,000 total trophies. So even if they add a bunch of resources to Trophy Road, I don't know if people are actually going to get a lot of those. Like, they're going to get more than before, but it still might not be that much. I think a lot of it is just genuinely going to be like the Brawl Pass is going to be like the big buff that people feel. But maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe the new rework makes people more incentivized to play Trophy Road. And also, old players did get a bunch of rewards too for less effort during the 1000 Masters event. So again, kind of a little bit of a reminder to players. A lot of people are complaining that like, oh, we got nerfed. Free-to-play players got nerfed. We are cooked. We are all screwed. Give progression back to us. But arguably with the 1000 Masteries event, we never had it taken. Even with these numbers as they are now and nothing changed, you could still see it with the 1000 Masteries event as a net buff, because most players got to collect a big chunk of these total mastery rewards at the top. So all of this resources remaining stuff might not even be in the red, assuming you played the event. That was the main point of the event, was like, you know, if you really want these rewards, you better grind right now to get them now. I think a lot of the complaining was really just like, it just feels bad to see anything be in the red at all. And also the fact that records just is not fun. It's just the same thing as masteries, but with less rewards, which it's like pointless. And so to address that and how they basically made the game more boring to play, they're going to be adding more records and, you know, buffing Brawl Pass, and then increasing the number of events starting this Thursday. So doing a community event around Mortis, unlimited lives for his free skin, Mega Pig, well, that's already happening every time, Hypercharge Unleashed, and more quests. You can expect a dramatically increased number of events and therefore more rewards. With more events, we'll be reducing the time to get these rewards. For example, Hypercharge Unleash will take a lot less wins to complete, thank God. Angel's event coming on July 17th will only be 2 weeks instead of 1 month, but will have a similar levels of rewards. Okay, that's actually a good thing. So instead of having 1 month worth of Angel's event, they're condensing it down to 2 weeks, but having a similar level of rewards. I guess not the same, but like it's going to be close enough to where it's going to be like more concentrated, better reward for your time. Some specific records are not great currently. The win records fall in the same issue we had with masteries. They're grindy. So some special records feel impossible, not fun either. So we'll be looking at rebalancing a number of records that feel impossible. Still under discussion, but will likely replace win records condition from wins to getting star player. And that also adjusts how star player feels less meaningful, and win bot farmers. Ask the community which records they would like to see in Brawl. Community, which records would you like to see in Brawl Stars? Let me know down in the comments. Brawl Stars will definitely see your comments. So write down a very heartfelt, long-winded comment about what kind of record you would like to see added. And I'll be sure to forward it to the Brawl Stars dev team, because I am in direct communications with the Brawl Stars dev team, of course. I am very well known over there. And they are also going to think about overhauling the icons and frames and stuff, maybe, to the records, I assume. Also adding some way to like track progress on records after each match, which would be really nice, kind of like doing it like a brawler quest, so you actually feel an impact of doing it, because right now it's just a worse version of Masters. It's just so much worse. I don't know. And maybe even replacing star drops entirely, they might consider doing that and changing the rewards you get from records. Based on this wording, I can't tell if they're saying they're discussing for specifically records if they're going to replace star drops in the records entirely with some other kind of reward, not that they're replacing star drops with a different form of gambling. Like, I don't think they're thinking about deleting star drops, guys. I don't think that's what this means. I think they're just saying that they might replace the star drop rewards in records with something else. Could be wrong. I mean, maybe they'd have some idea to overhaul star drops, but I honestly doubt it because of how integrated it is in the current game's economy. I don't think they're going to replace star drops. That's my guess, but maybe this will age really poorly. And at the very end, they add in a little extra blurb about kind of like the debate on star drops versus giving just flat rewards, like just direct coins and credits and power points. They say, we know the Mastery and the Bling updates were two of our most praised updates we ever had, and it's of course amazing to see our channels full of positivity, but these updates unfortunately couldn't stop our decline of players in early 2023 after the removal of boxes. So that let us introduce Star Drops, which was a controversial update, and also had reallocated resources, I guess similar to what they did with the Mastery rework. And those reallocated resources with Star Drops not only stopped the decline, but sparked one of the biggest resurgences of any game. As we come down from those highs we're at baseline today, still more than 3 times higher than the same time in 2023. So they're basically saying that, like, yes, people really praised these updates where we added in more player choice, especially the club shop, man. That was like Club League. People really today glazed the fuck out of Club League because it gave so many just flat rewards. You could get so many coins and power points through Club League, guys. It was insane back then. And people all talk about it like, oh my god, Brawl Stars was in its golden age back in 2023 or whatever when Club League was in the game. I think nostalgia has a funny trick of making it seem better than it was, because the reality was no one was playing Club League. I mean, the players were in decline for all of the time Club League was in the game. Not only that, but Club League, if you recall, was in the game because it was paired with Power 10, 11 and Gears when they first came out. So those were an insane resource sink as well that was added in. That's why Club League was even added to begin with. Like, when they increase overall resource expenses, they have to increase potential resource incomes. The problem was that nobody was playing the resource income. Nobody was playing Club League. So you had this insane new resource sink through Power 10 and 11 and Gears, but you don't have anyone playing the resource income that was supposed to pair with it, which was Club League. So it just ended up feeling like a massive resource nerf. People did not like Club League and did not like the Gears update and did not like most of 2023. All examples of ways, basically, that online community praise and sentiment does not necessarily reflect game success and like game income. And sometimes it's even the opposite, where like really successful updates like Mastery and Bling and, you know, Club League end up being really shit in terms of game success and income, especially in the removal of boxes too. Wow, that was a big one. People were like, oh my god, so brave of Supercell to stand up for the community and do what's right and remove gambling from their game. And then the play rates dropped. And it's like, all right, so you want gambling, so you want this is what you want, and no one on the online community will ever acknowledge it. This is just true. Like, it's truth nuke incoming. And then when they reintroduced Star Drops, it was a controversial update. A lot of people were like, no, Star Drops fucking suck. Even, I mean, look at this. Look at this post. Fuck Star Drops. No one likes Star Drops. And yet it was a fucking successful as fuck update. It's what caused the biggest resurgences of any game. And, you know, they say, of course, it's not always like a balance where the community online needs to be unhappy for the game to succeed. It's not always going to be like that. But also say they have many examples where we've achieved both player satisfaction and business results, and we always aim for that. But sometimes they will try different and sometimes unpopular routes if the numbers don't work out and if stuff doesn't perform as expected, which might also be why they might be reworking in-app purchases. Similar to the Star Drops update, their bet is if they remove resources away from mastery to more accessible places that take less effort, like the trophy road, more players in total will stick around for longer. Who knows if this bet will pay off? We'll have to see and wait. They have all the numbers on their end, so they would know better than we do, and especially than I do. It's all stuff that's just kind of, you know, has yet to be seen, and we'll see. Random rewards in the end are here to stay. We believe random rewards are fun as part of engagement, whether in the form of trophy boxes or sushi, and regardless of how many people fucking cry and bitch and whine about them. But slapping Star Drops everywhere isn't the right way to do that. Deterministic rewards are also nice since they set clear progression goals. They need a balance of both, so they'll be adding in more deterministic rewards, first with a straight Brawl Pass buff, but for random rewards, we'll be adding them in more exciting ways in the future. And that's Brawl Stars signing off. Overall, I would say a pretty optimistic Twitter post. I think it's hard to read this post and really spin it in a negative way, because they are giving a ton of new resources from what they're saying. They're adding a ton of resources. The main ways are going to be through the Brawl Pass rework, also the new Brawler early access event thing that they're going to do every time they release a new Brawler now, and also adding in some more rewards to records. They're going to be doing that too. So those are going to be pretty massive buffs overall to player progression. On its face, that's really awesome. What I am worried about, not to spoil anyone's parade, is records, if they're Star Drops, especially legendary Star Drops, might not give that many power points. The Battle Pass does give, you know, over 5,000 power points a year, but compared to the 20,000 power points nerf, it's only, you know, a fraction of that. And the new Brawler early access release event, I don't know if they're going to give a ton of power points on that. I doubt it'll amount to like 15,000 a year. Special events too. Oh, they're doing more special events too. I forgot to add in. I doubt they're going to be doing special events that make up for 15,000 power points a year. I don't know. I guess it's not like supposed to be 20,000 power points a year. It's more just 20,000 power points in total that have been missing. And that's not like a changing number. And I guess over time from Brawl Pass and special events and early access Brawler rewards, like this number is going to shrink lower and lower. Like in 4 years, it'll be a net zero. We'll put it that way, just from the Brawl Pass rewards alone. And the power points are being mostly allocated to new players. So you know what? I guess it's fine. And they are also addressing the credit banking issue, since they are making it so everyone can kind of get the new Brawler, it seems, potentially for free just by playing. So you know what? Yeah, I think this is just in general a W, but we'll just have to wait and see. That's going to be it from me. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Mwah.